Good afternoon, guys. One thing I've been dying to do now that it's spring is build a wildlife pond. And I've never had a pond before. I've never built one before, but I've been doing a bit of research and I'm basically going to go through how I'm setting this up. And then maybe in June and July, I'll do a follow-up video to see how it went. Now, the first thing to consider with getting a pond is what sort of container are you going to use. Now, I'm using this very cheap plastic, sort of fake looking whiskey barrel. Great thing about it is there's no drainage holes in the bottom, and because it's plastic, it's fairly lightweight, fairly maneuverable. The next thing is location. So ponds need a bit of sunlight, and you can sort of do partial shade or sunny, but a shady pond or a full shade pond probably isn't going to flower as much as you like. And that's kind of what I want here, is something quite attractive to look at. So this is the spot, and I've basically put a slab that I had left over from our sort of garden build underneath to make sure it's level. And that's the other thing to consider, is making sure it's level. Now I'm very much going to just dive in with setting this up now. The first thing I'm going to do is put in the bottom of it maybe an inch layer or half an inch layer of aquatic compost. Now you cannot just use normal soil or compost because there's too many nutrients in it. Now the big thing that setting up a pond and researching for this video has taught me is that you don't want too many nutrients in the water. If you've got too many nutrients in the water, you'll get algae, and algae can overtake your pond and make it not very nice to look at. You want nice clear water, be able to see the fish or see the plants or whatever. So use the aquatic compost. The next thing to do, and it's fairly optional, is to add some gravel to the bottom of the pond. I think it looks much nicer if you've got the gravel on the bottom. You don't have to do it, but if you are going to add this gravel, the first thing to do is rinse it. Now that rinsing gets rid of the sort of dusty stuff that will make the water cloudy when you first start filling it up. Now the next bit is for me where ponds get a little bit complicated, and that is the plants. Now the real sort of interesting thing with the plants is the planting depth of them, how deep or shallow they need to be in water. So first off, you get marginals. Now marginals are typically plants where the crown of the plant can be on the surface of the water, but all their roots are in water. But they can also sometimes be up to 10, 20, even 30 centimeters underwater, and they're still classed as marginal plants. Now, a lot of the plants you'll buy in the garden centre are marginal plants, so you don't have to worry about too much, but the label tells you sort of the planting range of that plant. And it's really important you know the depth of your container. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to probably put them on bricks and things so I get them on the right height. Now, the other thing to mention is basically pond plants come in these pots that have these lots of holes in so the water can get in, etc., and the roots can go out. And the ones I've bought, a lot of them seem quite pot bound, so I'm potting them up into the bigger size pots with a little bit more aquatic compost, just to make sure they get off to a good start. So once you've sorted out your plant, you can start off doing the arrangement. So these ones here I knew were sort of fairly deep. This one here needs to be quite shallow, and then this one here needs to be really deep. So it's it's right on the bottom of the pond. Now I have sort of sprinkled around some gravel to sort of naturalize it a bit, and there is a little bit of mud on these bricks. I'm a bit worried about that, but if there is an algae problem, I'll just have to clear it out. But yeah, now the next stage is to start filling it up. So filling up the pond, the main thing to do is try not to get it too murky. And the way to do that is to make sure you're not splashing on the rocks. Now, I think I probably should have washed the rocks a bit more. There's a little bit murky here, but I filled it up with some rainwater from my water butt. The reason I'm doing that is it's a bit nicer for the plants. And if you are going to have fish, make sure you use rainwater. They don't like the sort of chlorinated tap water, but you can buy specialist stuff to put in the water that makes it suitable for fish quite quickly. But yeah, this murkiness will settle down over the next sort of week, and will hopefully be the end crystal clear. Now the only final bit I need to do is to drop in some of this, I think it's called hornwort. It's basically like a pond weed. Now, slightly different to the marginal plants I put in, this stuff has a purpose, and that is oxygenating the water. Now I'll do a bit of a close-up of these, but basically they've got like a little weight at the bottom, and the easiest thing to plant in the world, because all you do is you just drop it in. It sinks, and it will sort of grow by itself. It's sort of I don't know if it roots in the actual soil, or whether it just roots in the water. But yeah, and then this way it keeps your pond water a bit more oxygenated and healthy. And that there, guys, is setting up a little sort of water feature pond. If you've got any tips for me, I'm definitely not an expert on this. Do leave them in the comments. I would love to sort of hear from you guys. But as I stated at the beginning, I'll do another video sort of later on in the year to sort of show you how this is getting on.